Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's Friday. It's somewhere in the middle of December. I believe it's the 10th. We're actually going to have our Christmas party tonight. So that's really excited about celebrating the holiday with all of our great, fabulous realtors. Excited about that. It's going to be, actually, we're going to be at the Glenview Country Club later on. But what I really want to talk to a lot of people about today, and you're seeing this particular slide from the National Association of Realtors, where it's saying that the pandemic likely spurred occupants to shorten their home stay as tenure in the home decreased to 8 years from 10 years. And obviously it's different here for the folks that live in the villages. That typically the average is 3 to 4 moves when you live in the villages, and that's for various reasons. And I think it could pick up for may go to 4 to 5 for another reason, because of the shortage in inventory, because of uh, the lack of homes. A lot of people have settled either in a rental, which, by the way, if you need a rental, let us know. 352 572 3796. You can call me direct and I'll let you know what's going on. Also, our property management division, 352 753 7500. But also, people have bought homes that maybe they were looking for a gardenia or a lantana or an iris that was on the golf course. So they wanted to be in a particular village. Maybe they wanted to be between the sixes, between 466 and 466A, kind of somewhat central in the villages, or even further south, and they couldn't find what they were looking for, and they're settling for something less, knowing that they can sell that home and then move into something that's going to be maybe more appropriate, maybe in a year or two. So maybe they're buying a courtyard villa or a patio villa, something small, not nearly close to what they're looking for, but something different. Or maybe they're buying something larger, but they're being in a different area just to be in the villages, getting in the door in the villages. So we're seeing a lot of that going on right now, and it makes sense, right? Traditionally, people have moved several times for different reasons. One, people do homework, but they're not sure exactly, what they're going to be into. They don't know what the activities are going to be or where their friends are going to be. They might have one or two friends in one area already. That happens a lot. They may know some people already in the villages, or they may not, and they gain some traction with the many activities here. Or they may move into a community. Maybe they move between the sixes, and they find that their friends are maybe south of 466A, or they may buy something north of 466. Our particular office where I'm located right now is right on 466, right next to the Hampton Inn. Realty Executives in the Villages, next to Buena Vista. And sometimes they might buy a place that maybe they're going to be in Harmswood, or they're going to be maybe further north in Mulberry. They might be in that area. And then you find, I want to get closer to some other people between the sixes. So that's a lot of what happens. Also, sometimes what happens is you get people who are moving because they want something bigger, or they want something smaller, or they want something with a view and didn't realize it, or they want to be on the golf course, and maybe they say, no, I don't want to be on the golf course. I don't want to be on the, next to the golf course, because there's not enough privacy, because people are obviously golfing or they're using the golf cart paths. You never know why people are going to move. But what we've noticed is people get bored and want to move. They get tired of what home they have, and they tend to move every couple of years. We tend to see that, even times where people might live on a particular street and just move 5, 6, 7 doors down or a street over, so they like the village, they like that particular area neighborhood that they're in, but they're not they don't have the particular view that maybe that they were hoping for. So sometimes that happens. So that's definitely a thing. And remember, look, it is Flannel Friday. Carrie here, Flannel Friday lady.
Hi, y'all.
You have to subscribe just for Carrie. Like, if like everything I say might be complete garbage, but Carrie here at Flannel Friday.
Yep.
And it's not cold here, by the way. What's the temperature?
It's freezing 80 degrees.
Freezing 80 degrees.
1% chance of rain.
That's the exact reason why people move to the villages. There's Carrie. She's gonna be famous. She's more famous than I am. So that's an important thing. People move here because of the weather. Obviously, the weather here is very nice. It is kind of balmy. Actually, I was walking outside, taking a walk, and I normally wear long sleeve just for, for professionalism purposes, and I have to, meet the public or want to represent our company in the best form that I can. But that's a thing that we need to really look at when people are moving a lot. I think people are moving more with the pandemic. That's what that report said. But even more so, I think it could happen. Happens here already. So people are leaving their properties a little bit quicker, even as we know, they're moving on, pretty often right now. So looking at, I want to share this with you. This is a real fascinating one here. This chart here is really interesting because this is national stuff, and it's hard to get this kind of detail with local information. But this is talking about today's homeowners are staying in their homes an average of 8 years, where it used to be 10. Which, by the way, that's a significant. That means we had so much movement this past year. And this is really indicative of that. And if we look, this goes all the way back to 1985, where we're talking about, 5 years, every 5 years, people would move. And then it was like 6, bumped up to 7 in 1997. And for years, it was 6. 2009, it went to 7. People were staying longer, 8, 9, 10 years, 9 years, 10, 10, 9, 10, 10, all the way through the 10s, 2010s. Basically, we saw probably an average of like 9.5 years. And then this year, so a drop all the way to 8. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of trend we see moving forward into next year and subsequent years. But this is obviously impacts us. Now, while these are national numbers, that means a lot of people moved this last year. For it to move the needle that much, that means something. Just like we saw in 2008 and 2009. Really, it was the inverse. We saw, falling off a cliff in real estate. We saw the rising up a mountain in the last, 18 months all over the country, specifically in the villages as well. But, this tells us something else. This means that people's properties are actually selling, at a much more a higher clip and much more often. So that means people's homes, and that's what we're seeing around the country, is that people's homes are selling, and they're not having an issue in selling their home wherever they're coming from and moving into our area. Whether, we're seeing more people move from the West Coast. We've seen a lot of people obviously from Michigan, Ohio, east of the Mississippi, Northeast, and some people from Southern Florida, whether it's Sarasota or Boca Raton or, some of those places. So that obviously helps the movement, causes more activity in a particular area. And that's exactly what we're seeing here in the villages as well. So the other thing I want to cover with you is looking at the properties that are basically active right now. I think we're looking at 71 properties on the market right now. And, that's an indicator as well. So I wanted to share with you this here, which is going to show you, we're looking essentially at the active properties that are just located in Sumter County. That's what we're looking at right now. Okay, this is exactly what you're seeing here. So, we're looking at 53 properties that are available in Sumter County. Okay, that's the first thing. And in fact, let me hit the results. Sumter County, and this is not all Sumter County. This is the villages, Sumter County. So all the properties that are available in the villages that are located in Sumter County. Sumter County is much larger, although we have most of the villages does take up Sumter County. Most of the properties. There are some outlying areas, whether it's, Wildwood, some of the areas we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, like Oxford Oaks, some of the family neighborhoods. There's some of that, and some rural areas, some farmland, and places around Coleman and Bushnell, that type of thing. But predominantly, Sumter County is most of the homes that sell are going to be in the villages, and hence you're looking at that here. 53 properties available, and this is the price range. Like you're looking at, if you're wondering what you can get for under 300,000, there's a handful of properties here that this one here, we'll open this one up, 1667 Sellers Court. This is a patio villa. It's actually about 1.5 miles away from Sumter Landing, right? So they're a pretty clean property. and pretty attractive privacy in the back as well. So that one's going for 289. That tells you a little bit about what's going on there as far as like Sumter County. Okay. Now, if we were to look at, let's take a look at what's available. So that, and actually that's the biggest, that's where you're going to see the biggest movement. Most of the properties in the villages on MLS will be located in Sumter County. Let's take a look at Lake County, which, Lake County is a massive county and only a very little bit of the villages actually exists in Lake County, but there are a handful of properties. It could be Orange Blossom in the manufactured home section, which you're seeing here. There's 6 homes that are manufactured, and then the other 6 homes, or five homes actually. This looks like there's another one in Lady Lake. Some of the older sections here. Then there's a newer section around the village of Pine Ridge, which is also in Lake County. Newer properties there, and you're seeing that here. It was built in 2018, 2015 in Lake County. These two here going for 400,000 and 376. The rest of the properties are selling for under 3, and more than half of them are under 250. With one property that is, let's take a look at what this one is, Lindsay Lane. Okay, this is actually, it looks like a site-built home in the Orange Blossom section. That's another thing that's happening too, that a lot of people don't realize. In the historic section, Orange Blossom, east of 441, mostly, I don't know what the percentages are, I feel like it's like 95% are going to be manufactured homes. We're starting to see a decrease there and an increase in site-built homes. So people have knocked down the manufactured housing and built new construction, which is a possibility in some of these and on these lots, obviously. And we're seeing more and more of that. In fact, we typically do caravans every Wednesday. And if you're interested in knowing more about caravans and the latest properties, let me know, because we go on caravans and see the properties that just sometimes they haven't even hit the market. They're about to the next day. And we also have conversations about the latest properties. So if you want to know more about that, let me know as well. You can connect with me at 352-572-3796. But these properties here, like this one here, is a site built and actually pretty attractive looking property for 250,000. Looks like. So very, very interesting. But this one isn't new. It just happens to be in the Orange Blossom side. Looks like it's site built. So that gives you an idea about Lake County. So now let's look at the other county. So we're right in the middle of, we're in a tri-county area here, Sumter County, Lake County, and then the third county that the villages covers is Marion County. And Marion County, remarkably enough, there was a time where we had the most amount of properties were located in Marion County, and there's not that many right now. We're actually looking at 6 available active properties in Marion County right now, ranging from 289 all the way to 559. So that gives you an idea of what's going on there. Be interesting to see how many are, let's take a look at how many are actually under contract, what's pending in Marion County. And it's 19 properties right at the moment. Now let's take a look at Lake. We're going to look at Lake pendings. And if we look at Lake pendings, there's 28 that are pending in Lake County in the villages. And Sumter County, let's see what the Sumter County is 127. So that tells you, where most of the activity is in these particular counties. There's some activity, obviously, for Lake County, some in Marion County, but very minimal. Sumter County has the most activity because that's most of the villages is located in Sumter County, which makes sense. So that gives you an idea of what's going on. If we also look at what's happened in the last 7 days, 22 new listings on the market and 35 properties that closed, 46 under contract. It's so interesting. If we look at this, if we calculate 22 new listings in the villages, now this is the entire MLS, not just one particular county, the 3 counties, 22 properties that are active. No, I'm sorry, 22 properties that have become active, new listings within the last 7 days, And then obviously there was 3 that came back on the market that were pending, but something happened. So that's 22 plus 3. So it's 25 properties that are that were newer to the market, right? Last 7 days. And then we calculate none expired, 46 left the market, meaning they went under contract. So that's a decrease. If we take 22 plus 3 is 25, that's 21 less properties over the last 7 days. Very, very interesting. That tells you a lot about what, the pace of the marketplace is still pretty brisk. The demand is still there. So for selling purposes, it's held. For buying purposes, making an offer on a property might be a little bit of a challenge, but what I'm recommending now to actually kind of beat the crunch is to, look at properties either like I opened up the show this way, like look at properties that maybe are not exactly what you're looking for, but get into the villages. If you're out of the market, you just want to get in, you might have to get something you're not looking for just to get in and then sell it. It's possible, okay? Or wait. Problem with waiting is that I'm not convinced that we're going to see a large influx in inventory, but being here helps because then you can pull the trigger on something else whenever it becomes available, and you don't have to wait to make a contingent upon review and that type of thing. So that's an option. The other option I'm seeing is, and I've seen this a couple of times this week, where you're looking for a property. It's kind of what you're looking for. It fits what you're looking for. And let's say your budget is up to 400,000. This property is at 425. It's not new on the market, but it's been on the market for about 3 weeks. In this marketplace, 3 weeks is like forever. So 3 weeks is like the new 3 months, meaning that if it's been on the market for 3 weeks, they might take an offer. You never know. If it's only been on the market a day, I don't recommend that, by the way, because it just, the sellers are typically waiting to see what's going to happen. But if it's been on the market for 3 weeks, and there's a handful of properties like this, I'm not saying that they're all going to drop their price and they're all going to be motivated, but maybe, you never know. And I've seen this a couple of times this week, as I've said, a couple of properties that were listed here and they made offers here. And normally people wouldn't make those offers, but there are some opportunities there. Hopefully that makes sense. And if you have questions about the market, you have questions about making offers. By the way, I'm the broker here, so I help people everywhere throughout Florida, but I also help people around the country because I'm also a coach with the Tom Ferry organization, which is like a real estate coaching organization. So if you have questions, let me know. I'm here for you guys. Buy Sell the Villages is our website. So if you want to look at properties, that's where you go. You can text me at 352-572-3796. And it would be great if you subscribe, because every time you subscribe, makes us look better. That'd be good. A little bit of selfishness there. And you obviously get notified anytime there is a new video. And I'm doing more and more interesting stuff, not just statistical things, but also some local interest videos as well. So hope everybody has just a fabulous weekend. Enjoy, and we'll see you soon.